Welcome to Woman's Secret Signals, the place where what women feel finally gets explained. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like you're doing everything right, but somehow still getting it wrong? She says, "I'm fine," but something feels off. She pulls away, and you don't know why. She wants connection, but won't say it directly. Here's the truth most men never hear. Women don't communicate attraction the way you expect. They signal it, subtly, emotionally, psychologically, asterisk, asterisk. And if you don't understand those signals, you miss the moment. On this channel, we break down what's really going on beneath the surface, the hidden emotional triggers behind attraction, the subtle signs she's testing your confidence, what mature women actually crave but never say out loud, and how to read between the lines without guessing. Because once you understand her signals, everything changes. You stop chasing, you stop overthinking, and you start connecting on a level most men never reach. So if you're ready to see what others miss, subscribe now to Woman's Secret Signals and learn the language she's been speaking all along. Let's start with a truth that might surprise a lot of men. When a mature woman craves connection, the first thing she wants touched isn't physical at all. It's emotional. It's psychological. It's the part of her that feels seen, heard, and deeply understood. In a world where dating advice often focuses on attraction, appearance, and physical chemistry, many men completely miss the deeper layer of connection that becomes increasingly important with maturity. Younger relationships may thrive on excitement and novelty, but mature women, women who have experienced love, loss, growth, and self-discovery, are wired differently. They're not just looking for attention. They're looking for attunement. What does that mean? It means they want someone who can pick up on their emotional signals, someone who notices the subtle shift in their tone, the quiet pause in their words, or the meaning behind what they don't say. Emotional intelligence becomes far more attractive than surface-level charm. Here's where many men get it wrong. They jump straight into problem-solving or physical affection, thinking that's what will create closeness. But instead of feeling connected, a mature woman may feel overlooked, like her inner world is being skipped over. What she truly wants first is this: her mind and emotions acknowledged. When you listen without interrupting, when you respond with empathy instead of solutions, when you show genuine curiosity about her thoughts, something powerful happens. She begins to feel safe. And emotional safety is the foundation of all deeper intimacy. Think about it like this. Physical touch without emotional connection can feel empty. But emotional connection naturally leads to everything else: trust, attraction, and yes, even physical closeness. So if you're wondering why things sometimes feel distant or why your efforts don't land the way you expect, it may not be about doing more. It may be about understanding better. Because for a mature woman, the first place she wants to be touched is where it matters most: her heart. Emotional safety is not about being perfect. It's not about always saying the right thing. It's about creating a space where a woman feels she can be fully herself without fear of judgment, rejection, or dismissal. For a mature woman, this is everything. Why? Because she's likely been through experiences where her feelings were minimized, ignored, or misunderstood. She's learned what it feels like to open up and not be met with care. So now, she doesn't just give her vulnerability away easily, it has to be earned. This is where many men unknowingly fail. They might listen, but only halfway. They might respond, but too quickly. They might care, but not show it in a way she can feel. And here's the key. It's not about your intention. It's about her experience. Let's break this down. When she shares something personal, she's not always asking for advice. In fact, most of the time, she isn't. She's asking, "Can you handle my truth without trying to fix it?" A mature woman is drawn to a man who can sit in her emotions with her, not rush her, not correct her, not turn the conversation back to himself. Just be present. Because presence communicates something powerful. I see you. I hear you. And you're safe with me. And safety builds trust. Trust builds emotional intimacy. And emotional intimacy? That's what makes attraction deeper, stronger, and more lasting than anything physical alone could ever achieve. Here's a subtle but important shift. Instead of asking, "What should I do to impress her?" start asking, "What does she need to feel safe with me?" That question alone changes everything. Because when a woman feels emotionally safe, she naturally opens up. She becomes warmer, more affectionate, more connected. Not because she's trying to impress you, but because she feels secure enough to be real. And that's the kind of connection that can't be faked. So if you want to truly touch a mature woman in the way she desires most, don't start with your hands. Now that we've talked about emotional safety, let's go even deeper because safety opens the door. But what truly transforms a connection is something even more powerful: feeling seen. A mature woman doesn't just want your attention, she wants your awareness. There's a big difference. Attention is easy. It's texting "good morning," giving compliments, or spending time together. But awareness? That requires presence, observation, and emotional depth. It means you're not just there physically, you're tuned in. And this is where most men unknowingly fall short. They assume that attraction grows through big gestures, planning dates, buying gifts, or trying to impress. And while those things can be nice, they don't create the kind of connection a mature woman craves. What truly reaches her is something quieter, more intentional. It's when you remember the small things: the way she takes her coffee, the story she told you weeks ago, the subtle change in her mood when something's bothering her. These moments send a powerful message. You matter enough for me to notice. And for a mature woman, that's incredibly attractive. Why? Because being truly seen is rare. Many people go through relationships feeling invisible, like they're being loved on the surface, but not understood beneath it. So when a man comes along who pays attention with intention, it stands out immediately. Let's make this practical. Imagine she's had a long day. She doesn't explicitly say she's stressed, but her tone is quieter, her energy lower. Most men might overlook it or keep the conversation light. But a man who sees her will say something like, "You seem a little off today. Want to talk about it?" That one sentence does more than any grand gesture ever could. It tells her, "I'm paying attention. I care enough to notice. I'm here for the real you, not just the easy version." And that's where emotional intimacy deepens. Here's the truth. Attraction might get her interested, but being seen is what makes her stay. Because when a woman feels seen, she doesn't have to perform. She doesn't have to pretend. She doesn't have to filter herself to be accepted. She can just be. And in that space, something beautiful happens. She begins to open up in ways that are genuine, warm, and deeply connected. So if you want to stand out, not just as another option, but as someone meaningful, shift your focus. Don't just try to impress her. Learn to feel her. Because that's the kind of touch that reaches far deeper than anything physical ever could. By now, you understand that a mature woman wants to be emotionally seen and feel safe. But there's another layer, one that many men either misunderstand or completely avoid. It's called emotional leadership. Now, this doesn't mean control, dominance, or telling her what to do. In fact, it's the opposite of that outdated idea. Emotional leadership is about grounded presence, being the kind of man who can hold emotional space without getting overwhelmed, defensive, or distant. A mature woman is not looking for someone to lead her life. She's looking for someone who can lead the emotional tone of the relationship. Why does this matter so much? Because no matter how independent or strong she is, and she likely is, she still wants to feel that the person she's with can handle emotional depth. She wants to know that when things get complicated, confusing, or intense, you won't shut down or pull away. And this is where many men lose connection. When conflict arises, they withdraw. When emotions get heavy, they change the subject. When vulnerability shows up, they get uncomfortable. But to a mature woman, this feels like instability, not strength. Emotional leadership looks different. It's when she expresses frustration, and instead of reacting defensively, you stay calm and open. It's when there's tension, and instead of avoiding it, You gently address it. It's when she's overwhelmed and your energy says, "It's okay, I've got this. We can work through it." That kind of presence is incredibly grounding. It creates a dynamic where she doesn't feel like she has to carry the emotional weight alone. And even if she's capable of doing so, she doesn't want to in a relationship. Here's something important to understand. A mature woman doesn't test a man to play games. She observes him to feel secure. She's asking herself, often subconsciously, can he handle real emotions? Can he stay steady when things aren't perfect? Can I relax into this connection, or do I have to stay guarded? Your ability to stay emotionally present answers all of those questions without you saying a word. And when the answer is yes, something shifts. She softens. She trusts more deeply. She invests more emotionally because she feels like she's with someone who isn't just there for the good moments, but for the real ones too. So if you want to truly connect with a mature woman, don't just be attentive. Don't just be kind. Be steady. Because emotional leadership isn't about control. It's about creating a space where love can feel safe, even in its most vulnerable moments. After everything we've explored, emotional safety, being seen, and emotional leadership, we arrive at the deepest layer of all. What a mature woman truly wants is to feel chosen, not chased, not desired in the moment, but chosen consistently and intentionally. There's a powerful difference between being wanted and being chosen. Being wanted is often temporary. It's based on attraction, mood, or convenience. It can come and go. And most mature women have experienced that kind of attention before. It's not new and it's not enough. But being chosen? That's different. Being chosen means I see you, I value you, and I'm intentionally investing in you. It's not about intensity, it's about consistency. And this is where many men misunderstand what creates lasting connection. They might start strong, lots of attention, effort, and excitement, but over time, that energy fades or becomes inconsistent. To a mature woman, inconsistency feels like uncertainty, and uncertainty breaks emotional safety. She begins to question, is he really here for me? Can I rely on his presence? Am I just an option, or am I a priority? And here's the truth. You don't answer those questions with words. You answer them with patterns. Do you show up the same way over time? Do your actions match what you say? Do you make her feel like she matters, not occasionally, but regularly? Because for a mature woman, love is not proven in big moments. It's proven in the small, repeated choices. It's choosing to check in, choosing to listen, choosing to be present even when life gets busy. Choosing her not just when it's easy, but when it requires effort. And when she feels that, that's when everything changes. She doesn't hold back anymore. She doesn't second guess your intentions. She doesn't stay guarded. Instead, she leans in with warmth, trust, and emotional depth because she's no longer trying to figure out where she stands. She knows. So if you take one thing away from this entire message, let it be this. A mature woman doesn't just want chemistry. She doesn't just want attention. She wants to feel emotionally touched, understood, safe, and above all, chosen. And when you give her that, you're not just building attraction. You're building something real.